Power Hours in Fortnite have been present since late 2025 with the Power Rangers collab, granting everyone a Power Blaster pistol, or whatever it's called, to all players in the match for 1 hour only. Now this was a cool concept and all, if done correctly of course, but even though the first ever Power Hour was quite fun and unique, we did not get another one of these events for about 3 months or so, going all the way to Chapter 7 Season 1 with the South Park update, which actually blessed the entire Fortnite community with 3 more Power Hours, each one themed around a different character from the South Park series. Before we continue, I would like to give a friendly reminder to hit that subscribe button to help me get started on YouTube, and also destroy the like button. That's all, enjoy the video. The first of these was the Professor Chaos Power Hour, bringing a unique atmosphere to each game during the time that the event lasted. It boosted the chances of the Stick of Truth Rift anomaly to happen in a match, making it almost guaranteed. It was quite nice, I'm not gonna lie, since it was the first of these 3 Power Hours. We couldn't wait to see what was in store for us in the next 2 weeks to come. But that hype died out nearly instantly after Fortnite made an announcement. The Kenny Power Hour was announced, and the community was pretty disappointed with the content it brought. Actually, I lied. The community was devastated that the Power Hour was pretty much the same as the last one. If I remember correctly, the only thing that changed was the storm sickle shape, which was a triangle. A triangle. The most generic shape for the storm to be. It literally does not change anything about the matches. Oh, but the circle closes differently, which makes for fun endgames. It doesn't. As a matter of fact, if the storm gets tiny enough, it literally goes back to a circle. On another note, we did get the Kenny's respawn token every match, but I don't remember if that was in the first Power Hour, but it was still cool. Kenny's Power Hour was pretty disappointing, but hey, we still have 1 more Power Hour left on the event. Surely it's unique and not the same as the other 2, right? Right? Yeah, no, the Cartman's Power Hour was the exact same as the Kenny's one. Nothing new. Nothing. At this point, people were looking at Power Hours as something incredibly small, not even worth booting up the game to play it. It was that bad. The people were not caring about these things anymore, and being completely honest, I kinda see why. Not much changed in the early game, but if I remember correctly, the Stick of Truth Rift anomaly happened around the 3rd or 4th Storm Circle, which is pretty late since a lot of people die early game. Anyways, once the South Park event ended, people kinda forgot about the Power Hours as a whole, until the official Fortnite account posted something huge. The Love and Legends event. Epic released a whole roadmap for all of February. It looked insane. Not only did we finally get a proper Valentine's Day event since 2020 or something like that, but the roadmap also included something the community has been begging Fortnite to bring back. That is none other than the storyline. Towards the end of the roadmap, we got into the most anticipated part of the event, but before we reached that, we would have to go through 3 more Power Hours. Yay. Each one taking place on Saturday at around 3 PM Eastern, not counting the delays we got for them of course, and an encore on Sunday morning, 10 AM to be exact. The first Power Hour of this event was a nice introduction to this whole month of content. It included the Cupid's crossbow and a heart-shaped storm, which was a lot better than a triangle, since this storm had a bit more complicated shape. The Cupid's crossbow was supposed to one-shot, but it just did 216 to the head. But it got buffed a ton during this event, making it a bit more useful than its past forms, when it did 1 damage to structures. Well, the bullet traveled faster, so that made it way better. Also, during the Power Hour, we got the activation of the Dark Voyager ship, which if you shot it, the entire thing turned around facing you and aiming a laser right at you. And if you didn't move fast enough, it shredded you, dealing a whopping 500 damage. The community liked this. It was a nice step up from the boring power hours we got during the South Park event. The game was picking up its pace, and we were anxious to know what was next. That was fun, but a week later we would get the second power hour of this event, granting every player a legendary arc lightning gun as soon as we got off the bus. Oh, and a self-revive device. A self-res? I don't know what it's called. I forgot to mention that previously as well. Anyhow, this power hour was unique in its own way. It brought a lot of attention to off-spawn fights, but also the most unique and fun storm circle we have ever had in the game. That being the rectangle/square zones. I cannot describe how much I like these. First of all, the storm begins closing in horizontally, making it incredibly fun to play in. And once it closes tight enough, it starts closing in from the vertical side, making a square as the final circle. I'm amazed. When Fortnite announced storm shapes, this is what I wanted. Dynamic shapes that actually spiced up the gameplay. It was amazing. We can also get the shape outside of the power hour in a regular pub match. I really don't know how the community felt about this, since it was quite recent, but me personally, I freaking loved it. And now let's go on to the final power hour we have gotten. Maybe we will get more in the future, but for now let's go to the last one. Now, this power hour is different. It started off with the encore of the rocket landing event. This brought a lot of attention into the game, since 1.4 million players hopped on to play. After that, we started off every match with the Foundation's MK7 assault rifle, which was pretty awesome, since we have seen that gun in the game since Chapter 4 Season 4, I think, 3 years ago. Damn, we're getting old. Anyways, this power hour also brought back the rectangle-shaped storms. And once again, I loved it. You already know how I feel about that. Hello everybody, Editing Poke here. At the time of editing this video, Fortnite decided to do yet another power hour out of nowhere. And I did not get to play it. So let's just do a quick review anyways. So apparently everyone got the brand new 7 cluster cannon, which I think was supposed to be a Season 2 weapon, but hey, I'm not complaining. New content is new content, so that's pretty epic. Again, the self-revive device was granted to all, and if you played solos, I feel sorry for you. I'm sorry, but the item is not viable in game mode like solos. It just isn't. The moment you get knocked, you're either in the face of the other guy or very far away, but guess what? He uses a shockwave, wingsuit, or whatever he can to get to you, and thirst you instantly the moment they see you. But that's subject for another video I hope to release soon-ish. So this power hour was quite nice. The item was really fun. It doubled as a wacky item but also an offensive one. It did decent damage. But I absolutely loved the fact that you could use it on yourself, and it did something different every time. It wasn't always in the same direction, and it also made for some pretty good plays. Oh, and there was also the rectangle storms again, so I guess you know how I feel about that by now. But it was fun. It was really fun. Even though I did not get to play it, I saw people using the new item in unique ways, and most importantly, having fun, which is honestly something we haven't seen in a while with Fortnite content. Anyways, it is pretty cool to see power hours going from just another event in the game to something important that is worth playing. Can Epic still improve them? Yes, of course they can. And I cannot wait to see what they have in store for us in 2026. Season 2 is right around the corner and all of us are stoked. Will it be fun? Will we have more power hours? I guess only time will tell. Thank you so much for watching. It has been OG Poke here, and have an amazing rest of your day.